The Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch are not afraid of Donald Trump. They're not planning to settle the $10 billion defamation case that Donald Trump filed against Rupert Murdoch, against the Wall Street Journal. They just ran a new front page article just in the last couple of hours in which they make the new revelation that not only is Donald Trump's name in the Epstein files over and over and over again, we're not talking about a couple of pages, we're talking about thousands and thousands of pages that the FBI and the Department of Justice 12-hour shifts looked through, but that he was told by Pam Bondi in May that his name was all over the Epstein files and that he's known it since May. So when he denied it to an ABC News reporter about whether he was told that his name was in the files, well, I don't really know anything about that. That was a lie. And the Wall Street Journal is the one that broke the story. And the Wall Street Journal is the one that's going to continue to report on the Epstein file until the cows come home. Because as Michael Wolff, the journalist who's about to join Legal AF in Court of History, telling our commentators, Rupert Murdoch thinks that Donald Trump is an a-hole. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. Let's talk about the new bombshell report by the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal got sued because 3 days ago, they wrote an article about a leather-bound scrapbook. And inside the leather-bound scrapbook for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday party was a handmade birthday card from Donald Trump. That was obscene. It had a naked woman sketched. It had his signature in the pubic hair and had some comments about an enigma and a secret life of Jeffrey Epstein, putting a lie to the argument that Donald Trump did not know that his best friend and wingman was sexually abusing and raping girls while he knew him. And that's why that was published. Now, Donald Trump came out and said, that's not my card. It's not my signature. It's not my name. I don't use words like enigma. I'm going to sue. So he filed a lawsuit in Miami, been assigned to the same judge that got rid of the lawsuit that he filed against Michael Cohen for defamation, Judge Gales. How is he going to explain a 30-year-old leather-bound book that was reviewed by the FBI and the Department of Justice in the prosecutions of Epstein and Maxwell? He can't explain it. Even Michael Cohen, when he was on my show a couple of days ago, said, I got a pretty good idea that I know which executive assistant would have been able to draw that for Donald Trump and make this sort of like arts and crafts project to submit under his name to include in the book, along with others like Alan Dershowitz. So he files the lawsuit, Trump does, opening up a can of worms in a Pandora's box, as I've said, including discovery that he's going to be subject to, including depositions. And now those around, the Wall Street Journal, some of them are taking the position the Wall Street Journal they miscalculated. They never thought that Donald Trump was going to sue. I don't believe that. And I told Michael Cohen that when he said that to me on my show. I don't believe that. And the new reporting reinforces my position that they're in it to win it. This is not a corporate-owned company. Fox News, Wall Street Journal, Dow Jones are owned by the Murdoch family. They have the controlling interest. Sure, there's other shareholders, but they own all the controlling shareholder stock. And they don't care. They're going to make these reports. And the new reporting is, as I said, a bombshell. Here's what we know. Starting in March 22nd or so, there were truckloads. That is Pam Bondi's words, truckloads of material being reviewed round the clock, 12-hour shifts by Kash Patel's FBI. Hundreds of employees looking through the files of these truckloads, her words, not mine, truckloads of information. Now, she denies that there is in the truckloads, starting in March, that there is a client list, but there is certainly a list of men that you can fashion from the names mentioned in the documents. Same thing for me as a client list. At least 20 men, according to sources, are listed in there, along with Donald Trump's name over and over and over again. Maybe hearsay, but it's in the Epstein files, which explains why Donald Trump doesn't want them released. He wants to try to get the grand jury transcripts released to argue he's being transparent. That's not what we want. We want the truckload. And now the reporting from the Wall Street Journal after they got sued, showing you that they don't care. They're going to stand by the rigor of their reporting. Is that in May, 2 months later, Bondi went to Donald Trump in the Oval Office and while briefing him told him that his name is all over the Epstein files, which puts a lie to Donald Trump's interview, which I'm going to play a clip from right now, in a response to a question from ABC News in which he said, "Were you told that your name is in there?" "No, I was never told that." Let's play the clip.
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with her, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job. And I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also. But I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important. And you want credible evidence for something like that. And I think the Attorney General has handled it very well.
The Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI's review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed
on what? On the
DOJ and FBI.
On what? On what subject?
On Epstein. Of the review of the file. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing. Yeah.
Did she tell you? What did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No. She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
So that's a lie. No, Bondi didn't tell me that his name was in the files, but she's doing a great job. Okay. Now, this whole conversation, newly reported in the Wall Street Journal between Bondi and Donald Trump, also in a way led to the firefight and the fisticuffs between the deputy director of the FBI, Bongino, Dan Bongino, former right-wing podcaster, and his boss, Kash Patel, the other right-wing podcaster, and Pam Bondi, because of the way that was all handled and mishandled off of the briefing of Trump about his name being in the files. Now, what does it mean? That's why when Trump is asked, and Trump has been asked, would you release the Epstein files? Remember his response. I would. I mean, if it was credible, if there wasn't hearsay in there. Let's roll the clip.
There's a lot of intrigue surrounding the release of the Epstein files. Some current and former FBI agents are saying, some of them telling me, that they feel the FBI establishment came out ahead in the standoff sort of with the New York FBI field office over releasing the records, and your Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding them but not getting all that she wanted. Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, during my administration, as you know, I released a lot of them, but then a lot of people started coming in, people that I respected, people that worked for the administration, asked me not to release the rest. And I respected that. They gave me certain reasons, but I respected that.
Right. Because he was already told in May that his name was all over the Epstein files. And this matters because the administration is trying to freeload and convince the American people that they're being transparent when they're not. This is a cover-up of the epic proportion of the relationship between a president and a pedophile. It could be a book, The President and a Pedophile. It wouldn't be in the children's section. But it is important. I know that MAGA has already baked in calculated in and baked in that Donald Trump's a misogynist, a sex abuser, maybe an affiliate of a pedophile. But the rest of America should be disgusted by it. Christian right should be disgusted by it. And how the Trump administration is handling this right now. But what I love about this story is that I may win my bet with Michael Cohen. Because we have a bet that I said Rupert Murdoch did not allow that to get printed about the obscene birthday card in order to eventually settle with Donald Trump and stroke him a check. Not the guy that called Donald Trump an a-hole. Not the guy who said he wants to make Donald Trump a non-person. Not the guy that's still smarting from having paid $790 million to Dominion voting systems because Donald Trump trotted out onto Fox News willingly for ratings, complicitly, trotted out one crazy after another, from Sidney Powell to Rudy Giuliani, to push these conspiracy theories about a stolen election that wasn't, through Lou Dobbs and Maria Bartiromo and Tucker Carlson, etc., and Hannity, etc. And he had to pay big money because of Donald Trump's bullshit. That's not the guy that settles. And Lachlan Murdoch isn't going to either. And Lachlan Murdoch isn't going to either. And one day, Daddy Murdoch is going to die. I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't a spoiler alert that I should have warned you about. And the 4 kids are going to run the company in equal controlling interests. And 3 of the kids are not really right-wingers, especially James Murdoch. He's a big Democrat. Wait to watch the point of view change of Fox News stop being the propaganda arm of the Trump administration as the kids take power. And I think they're starting to set it up now, and that's what we're watching. Bravo, I rarely say this, to Rupert Murdoch for telling Donald Trump, like Stephen Colbert just did, to go F yourself. We're running these articles. And if you go back and look at the Wall Street Journal, they've been running articles about Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump's relationship and pedophilia for years in the pages of the Wall Street Journal. I go back to 2022, 2020. And Donald Trump's upset now about a birthday card. And he's got bigger problems, I assure you, than a scrapbook birthday card and whether it was defamatory or not. I'm going to continue to cover it all right here on Legal AF. Hit the subscribe button. Help us continue to grow this channel. I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.